Hi, my name is Judie VanKooiman, and you're watching Life Issues. This month's show is about the Haven Project in the land of 1,000 Hills Cafe. My guests are Jeannie Masman and Emily Urbina. Welcome, both of you.
Thanks, Judy.
You're welcome. Jeannie, I'm going to start with you. What is your title and what does it entail?
So I'm the executive director of the Haven Project. I set the strategic direction and try to raise funds for our organization.
Okay. And how long have you been with the Haven Project?
I'm actually the founder, so we have been, I think we're 7 years now. Up to 7 years.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And why did you want to start the Haven Project?
I had worked with young adults who were in state care and kept seeing them being discharged to homelessness and discovered that there weren't any services for those young adults north of Boston.
Just on the North Shore, that is where you're. Okay. And Emily, what is your title and what does that entail?
I'm the program director of the Haven Project, and I get to work with clients and run the programs that we have, everything outside of the cafe and fundraising. So job training program, housing, the drop-in center.
Okay. And how long have you been with the Haven Project?
I'm coming up on 4 years.
Okay, great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It must be very rewarding jobs for both of you to do things to help the youth like that. And Emily, what are two common denominators in lives of youth?
One of the things that we see a lot with the young adults that we work with, first and foremost, is a lack of stability. They struggle with a place to stay. They struggle with having enough going on in their life, enough safety to be able to do any mid or long-term planning. And then on top of that, there's kind of a deficit in life skills for a lot of our young adults.
Okay. And Jeannie, what is the Haven Project?
The Haven Project is an organization that works with homeless, unaccompanied young adults, 17 to 24, from communities north of Boston. And we're trying to help them develop the skills and support that they need so they can be safe and independent. We provide a wide variety of services depending on what they need in particular, and we've also identified some main things that we believe all of the young adults need to have to be successful and independent.
Okay, great. And can you tell us what a person could expect on the first visit?
So, well, first of all, they would be meeting with Emily and her crew in the drop-in center, and there would be an intake process where we would assess where they are and what their immediate needs are, and kind of develop a plan with the young person. And then Emily would help them to meet with a case manager and move forward with various things. So we have everything from jobs to an apartment that we run, so many things to offer them.
Good. And Emily, what type of life skills does the Haven Project provide?
It's a great question. There's a really wide range. We offer presentations several times a month in the drop-in center, and we invite community members to come in and speak about different issues, and it can be anything from basic yoga techniques to deal with stress management, to how to repair your credit, to dealing with identity theft. It's really a wide range of life skills, as well as just opportunities to teach young people about things out there in the world that will give them something to talk about, something to focus on and educate themselves with beyond the struggles that they're facing.
Okay, very interesting. And how many jobs have been acquired?
So our website talks about the 72 jobs, but last year we had just over 80 jobs that we got, different clients, and the number just continues to increase.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. They must be very happy. Yes. And Emily, how many unique clients have come in the drop-in center?
Last year we had just over 220 unique clients.
That's Unbelievable. And can you tell us just a couple of brief stories about the homeless, about the youth, homeless youth that have come, that you've
Sure,
seen?
sure. It's tough to pick out a few. There are so many, and each story is just incredible. But we've seen anywhere from a young person coming in and sleeping in their car and trying to work a job and go to school full time, and struggling with dropping out of school or quitting their job, and then being able to engage them in our housing program or host home program. We recently just got to work with one young lady who had, unfortunately, due to her homelessness, had to drop out of high school and was struggling to re-engage with high school. And because of her education history being so unstable, she wasn't able to get into a GED program because she was testing below a 9th grade level. We were actually able to get her connected with Chelsea Charter School that helps her with transportation and get her into our host home. Our transitional housing program. So she's finishing high school now.
That's awesome.
Very exciting.
Good for her.
Yeah.
And Jeannie, what are some reasons that there is homeless youth?
Well, there's a wide variety of situations. Some of the, and jump in, Emily, if I'm missing something. Some of the kids have grown up in state care. Then they get to 18, and the state often offers them opportunities to sign in. That means to maintain services for a period of time. And because they've been in the system for a long time, they don't want that. So they sign out, and then they have a life situation that they're not able to, they don't know how to take care of themselves, and they don't have the family resources to do that. Some of it is just poverty within the family. Culturally, the family thinks, you're 18, you should be able to be out and be on your own, because that's how it works in their culture. Some of the other things, trying to think of like main reasons.
It can be as extreme as sexual abuse. Sometimes there's addiction issues in the family. A lot of different types of family conflict come into play. Occasionally we see young people who are estranged from their family, or perhaps their family moved away and they were stable initially and thought that they had all the stability that they needed, and yet a series of events would kind of pull that out from under them, and then they're trying to figure out what to do.
You also have the undocumented youth.
Yeah.
You talk a little bit about that.
Sure. And in recent years, there's been a lot of young people coming to the United States from Central America, particularly, who are minors and coming completely on their own, making just an incredible voyage to get away from really rough situations. Just heartbreaking stories. But they come and they'll get connected with a sponsor, because when they cross the border and are encountered by Border Patrol people, they'll go to a youth camp until they can identify a sponsor here in the United States. And what's happening, unfortunately, is that a lot of sponsors are inviting young people to come live with them and then kicking them out for one reason or another. It's very common for a sponsor to say, well, you can't go to school, you have to work and pay rent, and that's why we got you here, but the young person doesn't have a working permit and really wants to go to school so they can have a better life for themselves.
Yeah.
There's a really wide variety of scenarios that could come into play for these young people, but we are seeing an increasing number of undocumented young people who are connected with a lawyer and are working very hard to get their legal status here, but because of how backed up the system is, their court case can be as much as 2 to 3 years out.
Wow. I can't believe that their sponsors would make them work instead of going to school. That's sad.
Well, because they don't have any income when they come, and so they're
Right.
typically moving to these sponsors that they can't afford to keep them. and they really don't have any legal way to work. So, you know, somebody has to feed them, you know, and all of those types of things. But
Jeannie, once a client reaches a certain level of stability and independence, what is the next step?
so first we would, if they're reliable enough and they come in and they show enough initiative, we will quickly kind of move them into our job training program and sometimes into our transitional housing. Or sometimes they're able to become more stable on their own just through being able to keep a job, and we'll help them budget and things like that. So then we'll help them try to find a roommate situation, usually, because they all would like their own studio apartment, but we know that, you know, rents in the area are really high. So we'll try to help them find an apartment or rent a room, you know, from which they can continue their path to either go to school or go to a career training program, because there are many opportunities. They can go to college free of charge. They can, you know, attend many career training programs free of charge. So once they're at a certain level of stability, they can access those things that will help them to really make a living wage. So
That's great. And what are some key achievements that have happened?
for the Haven Project in general, so we started very small and have built out our programs to really help the young people as we were able to grow. So, for example, basic needs. When we started out, we were essentially providing food and socks and underwear and basic clothing, and now we have laundry on site and showers on site and things like that. For employment, in the beginning, we were helping kids to do their resume and maybe getting them some clothing for appropriate interview, appropriate interview clothing. And now we have a cafe called Thousand Hills Cafe, which is owned and operated by the Haven Project, that the young people can actually work at and be paid to learn job skills. With housing, in the past, we would just kind of help them navigate landlord situations and renters' rights, and try to help them find safe places to stay. Now we have host homes, which is people that allow young people to stay with them in their homes for a set amount of time. And we, almost a year ago now, opened some transitional housing, like some apartments. We essentially rented 2 large apartments, and we're renting rooms to young people at a really reasonable rate. What am I missing?
Education.
Education, yes, thank you. So with education, we were negotiating with schools to get kids back in schools and things like that, and referring kids to GED programs. And we found that with the GED programs, they weren't being successful because of their instability. You know, you need to show up 4 days a week at 9 o'clock in the morning or 4 afternoons a week, and it just was too difficult for them. So we ended up buying an online GED program that they can access at our program. They can use on their phones, on their mobile devices, so that they can continue learning until their stability gets to a certain place, so that they can really fully participate in other programs. And socially, we have social events that Emily and her crew run that seem really fun. Things that they take young people out, just simple events that kind of normalize their life experiences, and that's been really good because we can practice appropriate social interactions and show them things that, you know, even though it might be the next town over, they haven't experienced. So showing them the world is a lot bigger than what they have currently experiencing.
Exactly. That's a lot. That's great. And how does a student without stable housing in high school go unnoticed?
Well, because they, if they show up to school every day, and they will show up to school every day because sometimes that's the only meal that they have, and so they will do that. It really depends on the culture of the school on how open and accepting they are on reaching out to the young people. So, sometimes kids wouldn't go to school because they didn't have clean clothes, which is one of the reasons why we put the laundry on site. But if they can survive. They're very resilient.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. And Jeannie, the Haven Project was chosen as the 2018 Lynn Chamber nonprofit. How did that become? Congratulations, by the way.
My understanding is that the chamber people just vote on organizations, and we were thrilled to be chosen. Lynn is a good community, and that community has really rallied around us. They come to our cafe, the businesses and the government officials and things like that, and really support what we do. So it's
it was well deserved. You worked very hard.
Thank you.
And stuff. So all the way around. So, and Jeannie, what type of fundraising do you do?
So we have most of our funds are privately donated, either through a private foundation or from individuals. We do get some funds from the city of Lynn, but no large government grants or anything like that, which has allowed us to be really flexible as we grow, to be able to change programming as needed and not have to fill out a lot of forms or anything like that. So it's been okay. So individuals is our main focus to grow that part of it. And we only have one event right now, which is essentially, I built it from some friends. When you want to get something started, you speak to your friends. So we have a tennis benefit, but we are looking at some other type of gala or fundraising right now.
Okay, good. And you mentioned a little bit ago about your social enterprise, about the coffee shop. Can you give us a little bit more information about that?
Yeah, so it's located on the first floor. Our drop-in center is on the second floor on Monroe Street in Lynn, and it's on the first floor. It has capacity for 50 people. We have high-quality Rwandan coffee. We have breakfast and lunch. The young people work alongside the baristas to learn customer service skills, food prep skills, things like that. We have been very successful. We won Best in North Shore Cafe 2017 and 2018. We were really happy about that.
Of course.
And it's been a good thing for us as a nonprofit because it brings some visibility to the issue. Before we didn't have any way to talk about, unless we had shows like this, which we could talk about the issue. But now people come into the coffee shop, there are things on the walls, they're able to see our newsletter and ask questions, and that's really helped us donor-wise, and it's also helped change some of the stigma from some of our clients too.
Just curious, how did you come up with that name?
The Thousand Hills. So Land of a Thousand Hills is a coffee company that is in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And they, Land of a Thousand Hills is a nickname for Rwanda. And they went into Rwanda and built collaborative trade coffee relationships with the farmers there, and really helped them to build communities after the genocide and things like that. So when we knew we wanted to have a coffee shop, we talked to a bunch of different people and met them, and they sold us the franchise for the price of the equipment. So we don't pay any royalties to Land of a Thousand Hills. They like what we're doing, and so we use their name, which we're proud to do, and we buy their delicious coffee, and it's really been a fantastic partnership.
And I've had the pleasure of going there a few times, and it's very unique and different. I really like it and stuff. And
Thank you.
everything is great and stuff. But you have different events there too?
Yeah, we feel, we're a nonprofit. We're right in downtown Lynn, and we feel really strongly that that space needs to be available to the community. So we'll have local artists display. If we have people that are entrepreneurs that want to show off their product, we'll let them do like a pop-up in our space. So it's good for our customers because they have an opportunity to come in and they never know what's going to be going on. Somebody might be playing the piano, or there might be somebody sampling something. And it's good because there aren't many places in Lynn for people to have meetings and to have to showcase small businesses. So it's kind of we think, a win for everybody.
Yeah, that's great. And is there anything else that you'd like to add, Jeannie, for our audience?
No, I mean, I really, appreciate the opportunity. I, know of the work that you have been doing for many years, and appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk to you about what we're doing. Thank you.
What I always say, if one person can learn from whatever, a show or whatever, then it's been all worth it. So, but what you do too, both of you, is great in helping the youth and everything. So it's great.
Thank you.
Emily, anything that you'd like to add?
I would just say that we're always looking to connect with community members who are interested in hearing about our work and hearing about the issue, and as well as finding out ways to help out and join in and lend a hand, and that we offer monthly informational meetings that we'd love to invite people to if they want to come.
Okay, great. And Jeannie, if anyone has any questions or like more information about the Haven Project, can you please give us your contact info?
Yeah, I mean, the best way is to be on our website, which is havenproject.net, and there are many different ways, contact forms and things like that. Like Emily said, what we've found, being we're a small organization, the best way for us to explain what we do and to meet people is for somebody to sign up to come to one of our information meetings. They're in our cafe. We'll give you some of our delicious coffee. And essentially the meetings are run, there are about 6 or 8 people at a meeting typically. They're run by either myself or Emily. So it's very personal discussion where we present kind of how we got started and why and what the needs are. And then it's a back and forth conversation. And at that point, people can either sign up to volunteer, they can donate, or they can just say thank you for the information, because it's good for people to understand that. And so we found that's been a really effective way to really broaden people's exposure to what we're doing, and the young people. Lots of times people say, I run a business, I could hire that person. And there's lots of different ways people can help a young person.
Absolutely.
That's nice. Great. I'm sorry, but that's all the time that we have. Thank you both for all you do for those in need. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Please send them to lifeissuestv@gmail.com. And remember, live each day to the fullest and celebrate life.
Homelessness, at sometimes I definitely felt that it applied to me. Other times I kind of didn't. Do I hold up a sign? Like, no. But do I have a steady place I'm living? No. One of the first things I remember about the Haven Project, how the staff viewed me. At times when I would doubt myself, I knew that I didn't have to because they never did. Them believing in me helped me to believe in myself. I remember my name getting up on the board when I got a car, and it said, Travis got a car, he's going places. And it was a little drawing of a car, and I was like, you know what, I am. I have my own place now for the first time in my whole life.
I would say the biggest change in my life before I got involved in the Haven Project, being surrounded by people and by a staff who's consistently encouraging you to do better. I've had struggles between even entering schooling when the Haven Project gave me that opportunity. The Haven Project has expanded my resources that make my life different.
One memory I have from the Haven Project that had a positive impact on my life was the Haven Project helped me move into my first place. They also got me a bunch of home appliances from donors. I now have like a stable home and a stable job, and the Haven Project helped me get both those things.
23 years old, coming from a recovering drug addict, didn't have a mother or father growing up. I came to the Haven Project. They welcomed me with open arms, told me to keep my head high, kept pushing me forward even when I wanted to quit, even when I went MIA on them for months beyond months. They still reached out. Well, the biggest change that I've had as a person ever since coming to the Haven Project would be my anger management, my attitude, my self-esteem, and just how I work with people in general.
It was an amazing experience, an amazing opportunity with amazing people. When I got here for the first time on the States, they helped me. I didn't have a place to live, so they gave me food, clothes. I didn't speak English at all. They actually offered me the GED program to finish my high school, and I'm more fluent on the English. That changed my life completely. The Haven Project is an amazing program for everybody. I think everybody should know that these people are here and they're looking forward to help you and they care about you. So I think every single person should know about these programs.